All right, I'm feeling festive. What's up, everybody? It's Keefe, and you're watching the holiday edition of GhostCultMag.com's Weekly Ritual, our weekly news show. Me here, you there. We're going to talk metal, metal all around the world. We're going to cut with end with the pleasantries and get right to it this week. Enough fooling around. Feel free to join us. I see some of you already chiming in. Brooklyn Miss, Corey Dean Little is here on IG. Here's the layout of the show. We're streaming all over the web. Drop a comment. If you're feeling charitable, it is the holidays. Give us some love with a super chat or a super thanks on YouTube or TikTok. But otherwise, we're going to talk about all the metal and things. I'm feeling extremely festive in my fun holiday Metallica sweater and my Santa hat, and I had some sleigh bells. I'm rocking it. I'm going to unwrap a package later, a gift to myself. And yeah, we're here to talk about all the rock and metal news, concert festivals, tour dates, drama, all the things. Going to talk about all the things this week. So come through with your questions and comments. Don't be a chode. That's our basic rules here. Be cool. Don't be uncool. Let's get right to it. I'm going to call up the deck. Set it up the way we like. There it is. Top right-hand corner. And do the thing. Word up. Already getting some love on the hat. Thank you very much. I don't know if you could see my Metallica sweater here, but it's really awesome. It's very warm. So I'm going to be sipping my Liquid Death Mountain Spring water here. My sparkling water, Convicted Melon, finally hitting the Bay Area in stores. So I'm rocking this shit. I'm feeling very festive. But all good. Let's do this thing. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay out there, just making sure. And yeah, we're doing the thing. So let's go. This is the weekly ritual. Technically, it is for this weekend. Tomorrow is the 22nd, almost Friday here on the West Coast and all over the world. But happy 2112 Day for those celebrating the great band Rush. Let me know in the comments if you got a favorite Rush song or a favorite song off of 2112. Teenage Keefe used to slap at the bass. And I used to play all of 2112 on the bass when I was about 13 or 14 years old. So not trying to brag, just a humble brag, not a flex. And now it's time for some announcements, usually a mix of good and bad news here at the top of the show. And let's get to it. Once again, we're dedicating this show to a few folks. Sonia Ramos, a.k.a. Sonia Shredder on Instagram, is a luthier from the Florida area. She is battling stage 4 cancer. There's a GoFundMe put on by her family for her. She needs critical care and a lot of money for funds and bills. And there's also a charity show this weekend in Hollywood, Florida, by a bunch of killer death metal bands and metal bands. Sonia is well known and loved to the metal community she's a part of. So let's step up if you can. Much more than donating anything to us, donate something to her if you can. That's what's up. All right, just some props. Cell Arts does some video and show reviews for us in the Pacific Northwest, and he got engaged to get married on stage during cattle decapitation about a week and a half ago. Pretty killer. They stopped the show, let him propose, and it's pretty fun. I think it's pretty fun. So congrats to Chris Cell Arts and his new fiance. He'll be doing some more coverage for us in the future, possibly some festivals in Europe next year. All right, time for some features here at Ghost Cult. Just once again, shouting out our progress here. 11 years at GhostCultMag.com. Hardcore, going hard on these videos for the last 4 or 5 years. And YouTube this year took a huge step up, 1,500 uploads, 800,000 views. I believe we got 4,300 subs. If you're watching and you're not subbed on YouTube or Twitch or any of the socials, if you're watching on this, give us a follow, give us a sub. Every little bit helps. We appreciate you. Just some more progress. Our most watched video of the year was our interview with Fat Mike and NoFX, in which he tried to clown me for being a metalhead. That's okay. I really I appreciated the chat with him. It went viral. It was shared all over the place, all over the internets. And we appreciated chatting with Fat Mike. It was fun. go check out the Punk Rock Museum if you happen to be going to Las Vegas. It's amazing. I went, and it was awesome. Just a reminder, I don't think too many people out there know this because we don't plug it super hard with all the things we're trying to plug, but we have a newsletter we send out once a week. If you want to sign up for our mailing list, the link is in our description. It's in our link tree. It's in our bios in places. So definitely if you prefer to skip the interwebs and just get a little thing in your inbox. Remember, you used to love email? I used to love email. Not so much anymore, but if you like getting metal news in your email, we only send about 1 or 2 a week, unless there's a major story. And even then, we're very gentle with our email as opposed to what I see out there from the other metal websites that do what we do, pounding you every day with emails. It's like, nah, nobody's that interested. Electro Blum is here. What is up, Keefe? That's right, yo. Happy holidays to my homie Electro Blum. Please send my love to your family. I'm sweating to death here under the hot lights and with my Metallica sweater, but we're going to make a go of it here. I wanted to be fun for today's episode. All right. I'm also on Twitch. If you happen to be a Twitch person, this show is on Twitch right now. Go check it out. Give us a sub. We appreciate it. We're on all the socials, Threads, Blue Sky, X, whatever the heck it is. We also have a Discord and a Reddit in case you want to skip all this crap and just get a feed of metal, rock, and news, including all our video stuff, right to your phone. The adversary official is here. What is up? What is up? All right. Just a reminder. I know Christmas is Monday and commercialism kind of sucks, but if you're into presents and giving gifts or getting gifts or giving gifts for yourself, we have a Rock and Metalheads gift guide. It's not too late to still get some stuff digitally. You can always have a digital gift and print up a gift card or, a subscription or something if you can't get something shipped to you in time. We did a live stream about a week and a half ago with Todd Santos of Rock and Roll Crosswords. I'm a huge fan of the book. I have my copy over here somewhere, and super fun. That's on Amazon. You can get it basically in 1 day shipped to you anywhere in the country, possibly the world. And that's a great gift, as well as a bunch of other stuff. Everything you could possibly conceive of as a rocker or a metalhead shipped right to you. Also, we just concluded our Album of the Year countdown over at ghostcultmag.com. There'll be a link in the description where you can read all about it. Videos, podcasts, countdown, blogs, reviews, everything. Did the whole shebang bang. Our staff all over the world voted. We reviewed 606 albums this year, maybe 607 before it's all over. And we counted them all down. I think 300 total different albums made the final vote. That's almost more than any other website, certainly any website that's a volunteer operation like we are. Billy Bassman or Baseman is here. I hope it's Billy Baseman. But maybe it's Bassman. And yeah, check out our countdown. We counted them down from 75 to 1 in great detail. Check that out. Also, we've got some guest posts coming up from artists and people in the music industry with sharing their lists of their favorite things of the year, as well as some of our staff picks, personalized lists and listicles and social media content whenever we get around to it. So stay tuned for all that. We also did a top death metal albums of 2023 by our writer, Richard Benton. His occasional semi-quarterly blog, Through the Cracks of Death, which explores all the horrible, extreme, grotesque, great death and black and death metal. And so that's his personal 20, but it kind of represents most of our list also. It's kind of weird. There's a fun overlap there of our stuff. So yeah, good times. Going to take a little sip here because I'm sweating to death. I'm sweating like a bank robber over here. I'm sweating like Giuliani in court. All right. Fuck that guy. Album of the Year countdown. On to some sad news. This just happened within the last 12 hours. Lars Ulrich's father, Torben Ulrich, passed away at the age of 95. Not only was he the father of Metallica's Lars Ulrich, he was a internationally known tennis player in Denmark before they emigrated here to America. But he was also a jazz musician in his own right. He put out a jazz album just a few years ago. And I know I've never really seen all of Some Kind of Monster. I know a lot of people have the Metallica documentary from about 20 years ago, which I could never get through it all. Seems really terrible. But the famous clip that it went viral was Torben telling Lars that he thought the clip of music he had heard was terrible, which I think is really funny. So the harshest critic of his own son, I think is pretty fun. So, yep, good times. And rest in power. He was a big supporter, though, of Metallica. He went all over the world supporting his son. And, if we didn't have Torben, we wouldn't have Lars. So, it's 95 is a good run, though. But, yeah, passed away. It's got to be sad. Right around Christmas to lose your parent. Not to mention, I think Lars's birthday's in a couple of days, also, day after Christmas. So, tough time of the year. Also, we had the death of a punk rock legend, Manny Martinez, who was the original drummer of Misfits before they even had a guitar player. And he played on the original, this is the album cover for the first Misfits 7-inch Cough and Cool, back with She. And then he was also left that band and replaced by, a bunch of others. But sad. We're losing some rock soldiers here as we get to the end of the year. Also, this was a real brain boggler. Thought Crime. It's a pretty killer happening metal band, and their drummer died, which was just really sad. Just super sad that he passed away. We didn't really get a reason why. Sometimes there's no reason why, people just, there's no, it's confusing. It's confusing when somebody just kind of passes suddenly, but you gotta hold, Dot Homler is the drummer of Thought Crime, former drummer of Thought Crime, young guy, pretty young guy. So, not sure what's going to happen there with that band. Chanda 90 is here also. Just very sad. Anywho, and then also Colin Burgess. This is a photo from AC/DC's Facebook page. Colin Burgess was the founding drummer of AC/DC, played on their very first hit single in Australia, later re-recorded by the classic lineup of AC/DC. But Colin passed away. The band shared a remembrance of him, that he was important to their early story. And, we think about these things. All right. Jay Bems is here. What's up, Jay Bems? Moving along, feature interviews we had this week at Ghost Cult. This is John Dyer Baisley of Baroness. Their new album, Stone, is one of the top Ghost Cult albums of the year. Certainly my favorite album of the year, personally, not just on the Ghost Cult list, which I think it was in the teens, but personally was my number one album of the year. And I got a wide-ranging interview with John. We've interviewed the band 4 times in 11 years of Ghost Cult. I feel very thankful. Zach Ostrowski's here. What's up, Zach? I felt very lucky to talk to him again about how they make songs and why they still care about being DIY and very independent, even though they're a vastly successful band. So a really fun interview with Baroness. Also, this is Augment, an industrial metal band duo. And this is Zach and Nando. We interviewed them on the channel all about their recent album, Sequence. They also have a new single out just now. Our interview with them was a few months back, but this is a real fun interview. You should check it out. It's really interesting how people write songs and make music in different styles. Just in case you missed it last week, this is Fake Figures, sort of a low-key group of math rock, metalcore, post-hardcore band from Orange County, California, with members of Atreyu, Nations of Fire, Scars of Tomorrow, Adamantium, which is a cool band name if you like Wolverine. So just making sure you didn't miss that one. Also, one of the things we do here is podcasts. So we support the Heavy Business Podcast, brought to you by C-Squared Marketing. I was a guest on this week's episode. You could check me out, giving free advice for bands on how to plan for your 2024. I think it's pretty rad. I did a good job. Check out this cool picture of me shot by my partner in crime, co-owner of Ghost Cult, Omar Cordy. I believe that picture was taken at St. Vitus Bar in the basement while I was interviewing a band. and I look very cool there. But yeah, check out the Heavy Business Podcast. This show will also be a podcast as part of the Ghost Cult Magazine podcast. Some of our original content is there that doesn't show up anywhere else. Sometimes these video interviews are also podcasts, special shows, and other things. We're going to do a lot more podcasting and vlogs and Twitch and things next year. So stay tuned for that if you like podcasts. Some people do. I binge watched The Sopranos again, and then I started checking out the Sopranos official podcast with Steven Sherpa and Michael Imperioli, aka Bobby Bacala and Chris Moltisanti. So that podcast is awesome. They go basically episode by episode, analyze every one. So fun things. If you like nerd shit, that's a good one I've been listening to lately, beside my own. Also, I am the co-host of the Glalcially Musical Pouredcast, Beer, Metal, and Swearing, deep dives on bands, craft beer, vinyl unboxings and reviews. We pick back up our series on D.R.I. with the classic crossover album this week. That's going to go live in a few hours from now. Stay tuned for that. Definitely throw us, if you like what I do, you will love me and Nick Cameron chopping it up, giving each other the business, giving each other a hard time. Kenneth Kaltenbach is here. What is up? And definitely enjoy us giving each other a hard time and getting shit-faced basically on high-quality beer. Also, in case you're looking for some ads to promote your band, your DIY label or store, Ghost Cult sells advertising. You can always DM us for that. But also, we're part of the new Lambgoat Media empire. I don't think that's accurate, but it's still pretty fun. Lambgoat, you know their website, well-known music website, similar to what we do. And they have a big media conglomerate that we're a part of now. So if you're looking for a lot of reach with your ads, you can go to Lambgoat. If you're looking for a little more specific experience, you can definitely check us out. All right. And also just a shout out to our affiliate partner, StickerMule. You have a band, you have a brand, you do stuff. You might need some merch, including stickers. And StickerMule is the boss with the sauce of die-cut stickers. We use them. We get awesome stuff from them, like stickers, coasters, pins, all kinds of stuff. If you sign up with our link in the description, you get $10 off your first order, and we get $10 off our next order. So it's like a Dutch rudder. It goes both ways and helps everybody. You know what I'm saying? Some Dutch rudder action. All right. That was all the minutiae. Got through it a little faster this week because I'm sweaty. And we're going to do the news rundown. Let's hit it. All right. All sweaty under this. There you go. Well, if you need stickers, Brooklyn Miss, definitely sign up with our link. It's in our link tree on Instagram when you're done watching the live stream, or I think there's ads on our website that are pretty plastered all over the homepage and on the banners, and also on the YouTube. We've had quite a bit of signups since we launched the partnership with StickerMule. It's been pretty fun and lucrative for us. So I appreciate every little bit helps. We help keep the lights on. All right, metal festivals. Just a reminder, Maryland Deathfest is coming back for 2024, and they announced their daily lineups. This is insane. Obviously, some bands are going to drop out because shit happens, but generally speaking, this is the lineup, and it looks absolutely sick. I might try to go to this. We'll see. There's a lot of stuff I want to do in 2024, and I haven't yet really penciled in anything except Sick New World Fest in April for Slipknot, System of a Down, and more. All right. Northwest Terror Fest added a bunch of new bands and released a new batch of tickets. They usually sell their pre-sales in batches. So round one price level, round two, next price level, round three, next price level. So they're up to round two. Amun-Ra, Forbidden, you're going to hear a lot about. Repulsion, the great grindcore originators. Weekend Nachos, back from retirement, and a bunch of other killer bands. This is also taking place next spring, almost summer. I would kind of like to go to this. Not too far a flight for me to go to Seattle for this, but maybe. Just thinking about it. Also, it's always my favorite excuse to do the Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps. The metal festival takes place inside of a cave in Germany. That is the Prophecy Productions Prophecy Fest. They have added 2 new bands, Triptychon doing a huge headline set, and Farsot to go along with Paradise Lost, Arthur Brown, and so many other killer bands. That is going to actually be next fall, Labor Day weekend in September of 2024, but you can make your travel plans. Now, Scooter's here, right on time. Scooter in Brooklyn, Miss, like peanut butter and chocolate. What is up, y'all? Happy holidays. I got all my festive garb on, and I'm pumped. All right, moving along, we got the reveal of the Punk Rock Bowling 2024 lineup that includes Madness, the great ska band Devo, who I saw a couple years ago. They were amazing. Descendants, Go-Go Bordello, Billy Bragg, Rocket from the Crypt, Gorilla Biscuits, and Quicksand again. We just saw them, both those bands recently. So a lot of, thank you very much. I'm trying to look dapper. I'm very sweaty under here. This is very warm. I didn't plan this properly. I guess I could put the fan on, but then it's going to make noise and disrupt the live stream. So I'm not going to put the fan on. I'm just going to sweat it out. All right. That convicted melon is coming in handy there. Thank you, Liquid Death. So Punk Rock Bowling. This is pretty cool. We just found out about this today. Omega Fest is going to take place right in my backyard in Berkeley, California, at the UC Theater that I went to 4 or 5 times this year. Biohazard Forbidden, who's playing tonight. We're going to talk about them in a second. We already mentioned them at least once. Warbringer, Exciter, Hatriot, Bewitcher, Frolic. So many killer bands. That is going to take place on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you day. I love wearing purple. Is my favorite color. Time Canvas is here, and Tempestuous Zine is here. Hello, Tempestuous Zine. We used to be a zine, and now we're a big old website. I gave my very cool purple shirt. I have a very purpley metal shirt that I gave away to my ex when I visited the East Coast this summer. I ended up just giving it to her, and I have a really cool pallbearer shirt that's like a very muted, almost like I don't want to get the Pantone color wheel book out, but like mauve, like plum, right? It's plum is the right color. It's really a dark purple. I'm going to try to dig it out, get some new shirts in the rotation. I love purple. Purple's my favorite color, beside black. I'll stop wearing black when they make a blacker black, though. All right. So a Mega Fest. Hell's Heroes already been announced against Sodom. Queensryche Candlemass taking place in Houston, but now they've announced their after parties, late night metal shows after the festival's over. Wild shit. Wild. They go hard. This festival goes real hard. This is in March or April, early April. Again, I can't go to all the things. Just got the new Silent Planet and Johnny Booth. Johnny Booth is dope, and they're awesome. I've seen them live. I haven't spent a lot of time with that record. Maybe I need to. We were talking about albums of the year. If you guys have a favorite new album that came out this year, drop a comment and tell us who it is and tag the band so we can give them some love. We just did our countdown of 75 to 1. We're still pushing that. We're sharing guest favorite album lists from bands till the end of the year. We're going to share my own personal list, both in a blog, maybe in a video, also in a podcast that we already recorded. But tell me what your favorite records are for this year. Tell me who, if we missed somebody, let us know. We were given some shit. Our number 1 pick was very controversial. I thought it was awesome because it was super underground. Benoit Minville is here. Hello. I hope I said that correctly. But yeah, albums of the year. Tell us who your favorite band and favorite album was this year. Brand new album. We Out Here Festival. This looks like a lot of fun. This is a festival celebrating female feminist voices in rock and metal, and it's headlined by War on Women, who are absolutely killer. I would really love to get an interview eventually with Shauna Potter, the front person of War on Women. They just really hit all the check marks for me. Killer hardcore band, crushing vocals, great riffs, and super great messaging. I'm all about these things. They're on Bridge 9 Records. Big fan. T Brown 1091 is here. Yep, we talked about O'Dwyer last week and Humanity's Last Breath also. What a killer album. Definitely awesome. All right, moving along. Resurrection Fest. This looks nuts. This takes place every summer in Spain. And they announced basically their whole lineup, or almost their whole lineup, in one drop. They had leaked out the headliners and then the whole lineup. So the headliners are Avenged Sevenfold, Bringing Me the Horizon, Alice Cooper, Offspring, and Machine Head. Pretty diverse, pretty great. Also, Sum 41, Megadeth, Bad Omens. I think Bad Omens is not quite as huge in Europe as they are here in America right now. They are one of the biggest bands this year, but I think they're still getting to that next level overseas. And Accept, Delane, Biohazard again, headlining one of their stages. So pretty fun festival. I like the Spaceman theme also. It's fun. It's fun. We're just blasting through this. All right, that's all the festival news. Here's the concerts. A lot of concerts announced this week. Tours, tour dates, things that are already taken off, things that have been announced for the spring and next summer even. Lorna Shore kicked off their Christmas, a very Lorna Shore Christmas tour, mini tour, last night in Worcester at the Palladium. Ghost Cult was there. Shout out to our mans, Chris Small. Sometimes he's here on Twitch. I don't think he's here tonight. But Piercing Metal has joined the chat over on Instagram. What is up, my dude? One of my best friends in the world, honestly. And a great website, vlog, blog, social stuff, Piercing Metal NYC. Check it out. I'm a legend. You're a fucking legend. I thought I was a legend. Your fucking End. Oh yeah, the End, bro. End. What a killer band. It's hard. They have a name that's kind of hard to find on social because it's just End. But Your Fucking End is their Instagram handle, and that record slaps. It's like again, I throw the word supergroup around a little too much probably, but I'm a journalist. So that's what we do. We have lizard brains, and we just categorize everything. That's why we do what we do. It's probably some level of autistic also. Talking about myself, nobody else. But yeah, End. Absolutely. Lorna Shore, they are in Long Island tonight. I have a homie there already. Shout out to Fahad, who does some of our music you definitely have heard. You will hear over the end credits of this show. Tonight, he is at the Paramount, and I think they have one more after this. So, good times. Slipknot tickets are already on sale for their 25th anniversary tour dates. A lot of drama swirling around Slipknot. Who the F knows what's going on with them? I do believe we are going to finally get that Look Outside Your Window album finally next year. We had predicted it would be this year. Did not happen. Did not quite happen this year, but it is going to happen next year. And I really hope they're not going to go on tour with like a drum machine and Joey's drum parts or a hologram or something whack. I leave that to Kiss and don't do it to us. You know what I'm saying? Get a new drummer to replace Jay Weinberg. But anyway, Slipknot tickets on sale now. Also Dillinger Escape Plan. In case you missed it, they quickly announced a reunion show and then 2 shows and then 3 shows. So I don't think there will be more if they announce anything else. I think it will be Furnace Fest just because there's kind of an association there already. But Dillinger has not announced any other shows. So if you didn't get tickets to those 3 shows in June in Brooklyn, you might be asked out. Just saying. Also, that's tonight. I am feeling terrible about a FOBO, Death Angel and Forbidden, 2 nights in a row in San Francisco, hometown show, different openers each day. You can live stream both of these, a little pricey. I got to be honest, $35. I love both these bands. It's a little pricey to do $35 for a live stream for a show. But, you know, it's cool that they're doing very cool that they're doing it. Technology is now becoming so good that you can live stream your concert all over the world, and it's pretty good. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying for me personally, I'd rather be there in person. It's happening. Night 1 is happening right now as we record this. So moving right along, Vended has announced European and UK tour dates. That is the sons of Corey Taylor and Sean Clown Crahan of Slipknot. They are poised for some big stuff coming up. I think they have a new record in the works for 2024. And yeah, we'll see what happens. See what happens with them. They're probably a band to watch for next year. Also, this was kind of teased on social media for a minute. The tour with No Name, Doyle and OTEP with Red Devil Vortex as the opener. Brooklyn Miss was on our case about our OTEP interview. Hopefully you finally got to watch it. Thank you very much for asking all the time about OTEP, Brooklyn Miss. And Doyle and OTEP is a killer combination of artists. Doyle, of course, is the legendary Misfits guitarist. Original Misfits has one show booked so far for 2024, which I believe is Sonic Temple or Welcome to Rockville. Forgot which one. We'll probably talk about it more as we get into the next. Yeah, word. The Italian hands. I don't know what to call this. I don't know what to call this. We're calling this the Tommy DeVito. If you're a Giants football fan, Tommy Cutlets. Tommy Cutlets getting the job done for the Giants. Not last game, but anyway, Doyle and OTEP. I'll definitely be trying to catch that. First show of that tour is in Reading, Pennsylvania. They're going to add more dates. I think the nearest that's coming to me is Las Vegas when I'm over there for Sick New World. So that's a possibility if I want to catch that tour personally. Also 2 more tours that were just announced. KK's Priest is finally coming to America. That is the band headed up by KK Downing, formerly of Judas Priest, and Tim Ripper Owens. Killer band around them. LA Guns in direct support. Very fine. John 5 has booked a winter tour of his solo stuff, I guess in and around Motley Crue stuff, which we'll talk about in a second. Marty Friedman is going to be the opener. So if you love guitar stuff, Aaron, what's up, Aaron 1122? If you love guitar stuff, John 5 and Marty Friedman, imagine that tour. Holy cow. Like you just lose your mind from, you hurt your hands air guitaring. So I definitely go to shows and I feel like the burn the day later from this or this. I feel it in the wrists. Hey, Kim Gill is here. Kim Metal Guitars. Hi, Kim. I hope you're well. Happy holidays. And Merry Christmas to you, Kim, former Ghost Cultist, writer. Always welcome back. Always happy to help promote whatever you're working on also, if you're still doing stuff. I think you are. I know you had a blog roundtable series going for a while there, pretty strong. Yeah, and cheers to you. Good to see you. Moving along with some more concerts and festivals. Voyager, everybody knows them from Eurovision, maybe not so well in America, but a humongous band in Europe. And they basically announced a huge Fearless in Love tour for both their homeland of Australia and New Zealand, as well as the rest of the major continent of Europe and the UK. This is going to be a hard tour to pronounce. Insomnium and Omnium Gatherum. Can't make this shit up. Are teaming up for a tour. This is just one poster of the tour, but they've actually got an extensive tour booked for the USA. And Wilderun, who is a band I have been championing for a long, long time, progressive metal band from the Boston area. Fantastic band. And I think they have a new record they're working on. So this is a killer tour. Insomnium has had an album and 2 albums in quick succession, an album and an EP. Omnium Gatherum had a sick album out in 2022, and they did a huge tour of the US already once. Voyager is awesome, Scooter. I do love them. They are great. And I feel like that label, Season of Mist, is now really expanding into a lot of progressive rock bands, progressive rock and metal, like almost like not quite Inside Out, Frontiers, SRL level prog, but Voyager kind of legitimizes them. Yeah, Wilderun is insane. They're like the American Opeth. I think we called them that in a review. So Wilderun, if you love Opeth and melodic death metal and just all kinds of zany prog music, Wilderun, check them out. Also, this is a great tour for a thrash kid like me. Vio-lence, Exhorder, Deceased, and more are coming on tour. Vio-lence will play all of the Eternal Nightmare full. 35 years old this year, 36 next year. They did a few shows where they played all of Eternal Nightmare. I got to see one in Oakland, basically their hometown, outdoor in a parking lot. It was a jillion degrees in July, but it was worth it. It was so much fun. I might come out of mosh retirement for Vio-lence and Exhorder. And I saw Exhorder open for Overkill, and they were also smashing it. And they have a new album coming out, so I'm pretty jazzed on that. Bokassa is a band that may not be well known here in the States, but they are well known as a sludgy doom band from Europe, and we have highly rated some of their albums, actually. Really highly rated. RefX IDS is here. What's up? So Bokassa booked a tour, All Out of Dreams, which is their recent album. 2024 tour dates across Europe. Hopefully someday they will get back to the States. I think they've only been here once. LLNN is a really cool kind of industrial metal avant-garde group. We interviewed the same guys that have LLNN, also have the band John Connor, named so for John Connor from Terminator. And we interviewed them about 6 months ago. You can check that out here on the channel. Maybe I'll link it in the description or drop a card in here on YouTube. But they have announced a tour with Sugar Horse, another band we just recently reviewed. So a lot of cool, interesting stuff from across the spectrum of metal, avant-garde, underground, industrial. We cover it all. We dig it all. You're bound to find something you like in the pages, in the web pages of Ghost Cult. Also, Gary Newman has booked yet another tour of the U.S. with Frontline Assembly and Ministry. It seems like the last year or two, Ministry, Gary Newman, Frontline Assembly, Ministry, some combination of those bands tour together. Love to interview Gary Newman. We just interviewed Frontline Assembly, who celebrated an album anniversary this year. Ministry has a brand new album coming out, yet another one. So this is a fun tour for everyone, but this is a proper Gary Newman headline tour. Folterkammer, super excited for them, a New York City band, I think. And they have a fun video where they did like a What's in My Bag, like Amoeba Records does, except it's sex toys at a sex shop. So I think we're going to share that tonight or tomorrow. It's been sitting in my drafts. I need to get it out there. It's a group I'm definitely going to check out more of in the future, Scooter. Thanks for your comment there. All right. Fuming Mouth, we alluded to them earlier. They just fired their drummer, parted ways or dismissed, but he's out of the band. They have one of the best records of 2023 also in our countdown. And they have a tour coming up in just a few weeks in the UK. So they're scrambling to find a replacement, or maybe they had a replacement already on tap. I'm so glad that this band is really getting their flowers. I've been following them from the beginning when I lived in New England. Did you know that I used to live in Boston? Yes, you did. Giuseppe Malone is here. Hi, Giuseppe. But yeah, I used to live in the Boston area, and Fuming Mouth is from New England, Boston, New Hampshire. Killer band, great new album on Nuclear Blast. If you love just a straight up brutal modern death metal band, they are one of the best. Also, Manowar, a band I have not always been a fan of, to be honest. Always thought they were a little cheesy. I do love Ross the Boss's era in the band. He's a killer guitar player. Heavy metal band Manowar is doing one show in the USA late in 2024. They do have otherwise a world tour booked. Let me know in the comments if you're a fan of Manowar. I can't say that I love them that much. They're okay. If they come on, I don't turn it off, but I don't actively go put them on. Among all the things I could reach for, I don't reach for Manowar. Maybe that makes me less of a cool guy. I don't know. All right. We're blasting through this show this week, folks. Motley Crue had booked a Crue Years Eve show, but wait, I fixed it for you. And it's canceled. They said beyond reasons beyond their control, they had to cancel their New Year's Eve show at the last minute, even though it's 10 days away from New Year's. They feel like they can't. Are we talking about Manowar, Scooter? I mean, like, I've heard the discography of Manowar. I'm just saying, like, it's just not my favorite. Motley Crue. I don't know at this point, like, they just got off tour. So you know, I don't know if they didn't sell enough tickets. Palm Springs doesn't seem like it's kind of like where Power Trip was. It seems like not a place for Motley Crue fans to come out. Maybe they thought they were going to get like high end. The Fighting the World. Yeah, thank you, Ken. I appreciate you weighing in there. The early Manowar, when they were like brand new, I get it. I don't know, man. There's just something, I don't know, always put me off on them. There's, you know, I I had to come around to some heavy metal bands after I got into thrash and hardcore and death metal, but man, I don't know. I know people who love them, absolutely love Manowar, and if you don't like them, you're wrong. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. The group reflections. No, I don't think I have. Let me check that out. I will check it out. But yeah, Motley Crue. Just stop already. Supposedly they have new music coming out. Tommy Lee said that, oh my God, we're so stoked. Boreal Clouds is here. Art Earth is here. Hi. Thanks for being here. We're doing our rock and metal news show. Happy holidays to all of you out there. If you're celebrating, if you don't celebrate, happy solstice. It is solstice in about 15, 20 minutes. It'll officially be the winter solstice. I think Enslaved put out a new track today, or a live track for the solstice. They always do something fun. I was hoping Druna would do something, pop up with a new track or something. But yeah, Motley Crue. Maybe it's time to give it up, dudes. I don't know. Also, in some bummer news in the tour circuits, Possessed had just done a huge tour of the West Coast and the Southeast with Nunslaughter and the Black Mariah. And then they got to their hometown show in San Francisco and their bus broke down. And they basically couldn't make it to their last two shows of the tour, Seattle and Portland. They are going to make those dates up at some point in the future, they say. So I don't know if you need to hold on to your tickets if you were going to those. Big fan of Possessed here. You will sometimes see Jeff Becerra of Possessed or his social media team hop in our feeds and our comment on things. We interviewed Jeff a while back at Ozfest Meets Knotfest 2018. But yeah, Possessed is working on a new album for either late 2024 or early 25. So I think that's real exciting. Possessed, the original death metal band, basically. And, for fans online, who were critical of them canceling those dates, like, oh, well, of course they played their hometown show and then they come play those last two dates. Listen, man, first of all, Jeff is in a wheelchair. I don't know if you know that. He was shot 30 plus years ago and is paralyzed from the waist down. He recently, in the last year, had made some progress with some more surgeries and physical therapy, and improved his quality of life. But he is in a wheelchair. It does take a lot of money to accommodate him and to travel properly for him. So, be a little less judgmental. You don't know what's going on with the band at all. You don't know how hard it is. If you lose your tour bus and you have to go 800 miles to the next city from San Francisco to Seattle, that's, or Portland. It's a lot, man. Anthraf is here. What's up, Anthraf? Good to see you. Always a pleasure. Welcome to our show. We are probably 3/4 of the way through the show. All right. Moving right along. That was all the concert, festivals, and tour dates. And now it's time. We're going to bang through this metal news and call it a day because I need to get this Santa hat and this Metallica Christmas sweater off my body before I have stroke out. All right. The Metal Hall of Fame. I know might be surprising to hear us talk about the Metal Hall of Fame. I'm on record as being not a fan of award shows. We constantly give a hard time to the Grammy Awards. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a scam, basically. I'm happy when bands that I care about get in, but I'm usually angry that bands that should be in don't. The Metal Hall of Fame was an attempt to give metal its own Hall of Fame. Yes, I had this hat last year. I should get something cool on it like Keefy here on the felt. We'll see if I do it for next year. The sweater is brand new, by the way. This is brand new for my festive Metallica ugly Christmas sweater is brand new. It does say, you can't see it because it says metal up your xmas instead of metal up your ass on the front and the back. It's fun. So the Metal Hall of Fame announced previously that Metallica's Black and Whiskey is going to sponsor the Metal Hall of Fame, taking place basically during Winter NAMM in January in Anaheim, and January 24th. And here are the inductees: Mick Mars, Sebastian Bach, Ripper Owens of KK's Priest and Judas Priest and other bands, Biohazard, Eddie Trunk, Carlos Cavazo, and let's see, there's a few more. Director Penelope Spheres. We talked about her just a few weeks ago. Michael Maglieri of Whiskey A Go-Go, he just passed away. He was the second owner of the Whiskey Cleopatra Records. Much respect to that label. Biohazard, and surprise guest performances and an all-star jam, as well as I think Wendy Dio is going to induct Sebastian Bach. So like it's a cool thing. It's hosted by Eddie Trunk. Piercing metal. I don't have an ugly sweater, but I spruced up my leather jacket accordingly. You saw TSO last night, I think, correct, Ken? And we had a fantastic time going to see TSO together before I moved away from New York. So I'm glad you got to go. It's coming all over the country. If you love Christmas music and you love the holidays and you're a metalhead, you definitely want to see TSO. It is an incredible experience. They put on a phenomenal show, and it's for charity. They raise millions of dollars for charity. It's kind of hard to believe. That's such a cool thing, such a spectacle, such an expensive show to put on can also be for charity. Electro Blum says 10:27. I think he's referring to the solstice. So 28 minutes to the solstice officially. Yep. So Metal Hall of Fame. I think that's fun. Also, this is pretty great. Today is the Day has reacquired their rights. They had started putting out reissues of their classic albums a few years back. I have one actually handy that I pulled out on the Glalcially Musical Pouredcast, but they have announced they relaunched, Steve Austin has relaunched his old record label, Supernova Records USA, to put out the Supernova record and the self-titled Today is the Day album. A fun trivia fact, maybe some of you don't know, that the two members of Mastodon were once members of Today is the Day. That is Brian Dollar and Bill Kelleher were both members of Today is the Day. They lived in upstate New York and relocated to Atlanta and then joined Mastodon or formed Mastodon with Brent Hines and Troy Sanders. Just maybe you didn't know that. A lot of people don't. Today is the Day is awesome. We had an interview with Steve right before the pandemic at the Market Hotel in Brooklyn, right near my old apartment in Bushwick. And today is the Day, incredible avant-garde sludge metal band. Just a historic band. There's a new Today's the Day album coming in 2024. And apparently Steve also has a solo country album. Maybe outlaw country. I'm here for it. Startling Morning is here on Instagram. What's up? Also, Gimme Radio has relaunched. So this is a pretty good story. Gimme Radio, as you know, was an online radio station, and they went out of business 8 months ago. So, they just basically popped back up online last week as an online record store. So while I miss the radio station, we did a show there for 3 straight years, once or twice a year. And you can now hear those playlists on Spotify because I made them live. But, they came back as a record store now. They had a clearance sale at this time last year to try to get rid of their inventory, but they're definitely coming back as a full-time online record store. They're going to bring back their vinyl and t-shirt club, and they're not going away. So definitely check out Gimme Radio if you're looking to Gimme Metal and Gimme Radio to help enhance your metal record collection. I got so much cool stuff from them that pretty decently priced with the shipping, like $25. You get charged once a month. They send you something. Shirts were cool. They had limited edition stuff you couldn't get anywhere else. They occasionally ran sales that were really cool. So I'm really glad they're back in some way, shape, or form. Also, Behemoth has announced that they are doing another one of their cool theatrical live streams. This is going to take place celebrating 33 years of Behemoth next April. Outliving Christ is the name of the live stream. 33 years, get it? And I believe there's a new Behemoth album coming next year too. So maybe we'll get the first taste of new music as well as some deep cuts they promised from their whole career. These live streams, Behemoth really in the last 10 years, it'll be 10 years also next year since The Satanist, the 2014 Ghost Cult album of the year. And they really changed the game and they changed themselves. They really changed themselves when they released that album. So very looking forward to this next live stream from the band. Ulver has a brand new single out. So far, it just seems like a standalone Ghost Entry plus a Ghost Entry remix. It's very much in the vein of the music Ulver has been making the last few years. No longer just the straight up old school black metal Viking band. Really, they're doing this kind of like Depeche Mode, kind of dancey, synth pop rock music that I really like. Kind of reminds me of Nine Inch Nails, except it's Ulver. So it's always very smart, great vocals. I love this new song. I hope to hell it's a new album. They seem to do a new album every couple of years. They did put out a live album, just dropped it to Bandcamp a couple of months ago. That is sensational. From I believe from Inferno or Beyond the Gates a couple of years ago, where they played at the Glalcially, the famous Oslo, Norway recording house and studio and concert hall. Also, this is Ultimas, spelled with a V, Ultimas. This is a death metal supergroup led by David Vincent, formerly of Morbid Angel. Also features a former member of Mayhem, as well as Flo Monnier, arguably the best metal drummer in the world, besides Gene Hoglan, he of Cryptopsy. They dropped a new single and a video. They announced a new album, all the things, and some headline touring dates. So Ultimas is a band. If you haven't already checked them out, you'll be checking them out in the future if you like the extreme metal. All right. This is Mammothor. And they put a record out a couple of months ago, but what they did is they dropped a new sort of a reimagining cover of Anthrax's Inside Out from their 1998 album, Volume 8, The Threat Is Real. And they not only redid the song, they redid the video, and it's like a creepy horror video. And if you remember the original Inside Out video, this is the John Bush era of Anthrax. And they were lampooning or parodying the infamous Twilight Zone episode Terror at 10,000 feet or 20,000, Terror at 20,000 feet, which starred William Shatner, where he goes, "There's something out on the wing." I have been compared to William Shatner for the pauses in my flow sometimes as I try to gather my thoughts and stutter step a little vocally. But Metallica book is here. See Fazio is here. We got a lot of people joining over on the gram. Good to see you. You've tuned in late to our rock and metal news show. Thanks for being here. Happy holidays. So yeah, Mammothor, check out their cover of Inside Out by Anthrax. It's pretty killer. The video is a lot of fun, and I'm a huge Anthrax fan, as you may know, so I do love the track. Caridi, we were just talking about her last week. She did drop a brand new single. Caridi is a dark folk artist. She's Russian by birth, lives in Italy, heavily influenced by doom and heavy metal, but really she does this like haunting dark folk music for fans of Chelsea Wolfe, Reverend Kristen Michael Hayter, and others. And she dropped her brand new song, Son, S-O-N. And I'm really excited for this album. I believe it's coming in the first quarter of 2024. So yeah, that's a whole ass thing. A whole ass mood. We're almost to the end of the show. This is pretty exciting. All right. This is Mario Lalo and the Rubber Snakes. This is a super group of psychedelic stoner rock folks who are dropping a brand new track tomorrow at Ghost Cult. This has members of Yawning Man and Caius. You'll recognize some of the faces in the picture already. So we're pretty stoked to be teaming up with their label for this, and I'm very excited for you all to hear the track. I don't want to spoil it, but tune in Friday morning Eastern time for this song reveal. Brooklyn Miss, I Need an Ugly Christmas Leather Motorcycle Vest. Word. All patched up with like Santa and elves and maybe churches on fire, something like that. We'll get Blackcraft on the case. Maybe they can help. Here is Striker, the Canadian thrash heavy metal band. You know, they've been award-winning, won the Juno Award, which is the equivalent of the Grammys in Canada, and they just dropped a brand new single, Best of the Best, with a music video and a guitar play video, and their new album is coming soon. They are also staunchly DIY, and they are one of my favorite bands. If I can ever get, they had like the most awesome beer bottle opener that was like a little shark for Stryker. It was like their mascot for a while. I need a shark plushie for Stryker, and I need a shark keychain replacement. So, guys, if you're out there listening, or maybe their publicist, John Asher from Asher Media Relations, please help me out. Tara is on YouTube and says, I look so festival. I do look festive. Thank you. I even have jingle bells. I even had jingle bells today. So, word. All right. Moving right along. Probably the originators of streetwear, merchandise going well beyond band shirts and patches and stuff. Suicidal Tendencies has teamed up with Dixon once again for Dixon flannels. These are world-renowned. Every metal band has had one. Slayer, infamously, has had one, a bunch of them. And yeah, this is a pretty cool collection of shirts and other merch. You can check that out at either Suicidal Tendencies web store or Dixon. And honestly, Suicidal has had 3 merch drops just like since Black Friday. They just constantly cycle out merch. I'm sure I have a Suicidal hat here somewhere, and definitely a bandana in my jeans pocket. Just a reminder, Locked in a Vacancy, the killer New York hardcore and death metal group, just dropped a brand new EP, Before the Dawn, the sequel or the follow-up to their 2006 full-length It's Always Darkest. They might have put out another song here or there, but they really come back to life as a band of late. They are playing occasional shows. They do have a show in February at Brooklyn Meadows with Cypher, who is a crushing killer band. And we have an interview coming out with these guys probably early in 2024, to be honest with you, where we chatted with most of the band. Bizakor is here. Hi, Bizakor. And yeah, Locked in a Vacancies, you should not sleep on them. I know I got some of my New York people in the chat here, but definitely don't sleep on this band. They are brutal and they are awesome. And now they've got kind of like a cool extreme progressive metal thing, almost a tech death thing going on too. So really cool. Former members of Marauder, the drummers from Marauder, our homie Dennis Lars Torrance is the new bassist there from the Astral Cadence. So they really like stepped up their game hugely. And I'm really excited for them to come back, maybe for a full length eventually. All right. Sweet Evil is another new project. This, you might recognize the Murphys, the married couple from My Ruin. And this is their brand new heavy rock project. They kind of put My Ruin to bed. And sometimes they have other albums and other types of music, but this is their new project. They dropped a music video. They have this new album. I would like to try to like connect with them for an interview at some point, or maybe do a deep dive and do a review of this. It's a really fun killer record, kind of like very not that off from Queens of the Stone Age or some stuff like that. Pretty killer. A lot of riffs, a lot of big riffs. Kotspar, one of the original punk rock bands from 50 years ago, has announced their farewell album and their farewell, basically their last go round as a band, 51, 52 years into their history. They got a new album coming out. They booked 2 shows in the UK for record release parties. I'm sure they're going to do some touring. Don't know if they're coming to the States, but if you like the old school, before the Sex Pistols was Kotspar. So just a lot of people get it twisted and think Sex Pistols like the only UK punk band. There were so many UK punk bands, not the Pistols. I'm just dropping this fun thing here. I was thinking about this today. I was like, you know what, man? Lars Ulrich was right. I know we talked about his father passing away at the top of the show. And he was right about Napster, and he was right about a lot of things. He deserves some grief where he deserves to get grief. But would you buy a Lars Was Right shirt with either this 72 Seasons album cover on it, or I probably can't make merch with this, but maybe the Napster logo? They won't sue me, maybe. I'll do the Napster logo and Lars Was Right in the Metallica font. Would you buy that from Ghost Cult? We're going to eventually launch some new merch, and maybe I'll make one of these. I'm definitely going to make one for me. And the question is, can I get away with selling it? And would you buy one? Would you buy one? But he was right about Napster and Spotify not paying anybody, and streaming being great as a, sort of a search engine for music fans, but not paying anybody. He was right. I'll die on this hill. All right. New Music Friday. It's not a lot of new music. This is the last real big week of album releases. Let me just call up my list really quick for you and run down the list of new albums this week. Oh, no. Clackety clack, clack, clack. I got to call up my backup. Call in the backup. Talk amongst yourselves while I look this up really quick. We're professionals here, I assure you. YE Stoned is here. I hope I said that correctly. YE Stoned. So albums out. Yeah, there's really nothing going on this week. I think we have a couple of things here. Hold on. It's not a big list of albums this week. We didn't do a video for it. But what we did do is a listicle on our site. We always do a list. So here's the list. This is actually, I saw a couple of places that said this is one of the best records of the year. Bull of a Peace, Bull of Bronze, the Fractal Arabus. Very cool label. I'm probably going to mispronounce it, but it's Fiat Productions out of Long Island. They do cassettes. Challenger, The Path, self-released. Frostbite Orkings, The Orcish Eclipse on Metalverse Records. Funeral Vomit, if you love death metal. This is a great album. Monumental Putrescence. Can't even say that. Monumental Putrescence. Malevolent, self-titled on Neck Twister Records. Nighthawk, some heavy rock. Structures on the Moon, Slip Trick Records. Overlord, with an E at the end, Awaken the Fury on No Remorse Records. The Sept, 2023, Cursed Monk Records. Bands, stop doing Roman numeral album names. Please stop. It's annoying. Serpent's Oath, Revelation on Odium Records. Silver RICSC, Not Over on No Remorse Records. Also, Virus, Inhumanity, The Black Face of Death. And finally, You Fell, Beneath the Mountains Vigil, also Fiat Productions. That is all the records this week. I think there's nothing new. Maybe 2 more releases the whole rest of the year. We might do 1 or 2 more reviews. And that's it for 2023 in the books for albums. Bearded Gonzo 666 is here. I'm also a Bearded Gonzo, by the way, Bearded Gonzo, since Hunter S. Thompson was one of my heroes. And now it's time for the mailbag. We're at the end of the show. A couple more minutes left. Was going to do an unboxing of a toy, but I scrapped that at the last second because I couldn't get my second camera angle to go. So instead, I am my Christmas present to me, which I bought a few months back. 2023, among many band and album anniversaries, was the anniversary of, in a way, the comeback album for Machine Head, Through the Ashes of Empires. And for about a month and a half ago, they announced a vinyl reissue and remaster put out by Nuclear Blast, and I have one here. I'm going to show it to you. This is the last thing I bought for the whole year for myself, besides this sweater. This is a thick boy. Look at this guy. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it and not talk behind it. Beautiful, like a really beautiful, thick material here. Here's the gatefold. I feel like this has been on vinyl before, but perhaps not in this fashion. Comes with a gorgeous book for the album here. I think it's got lyrics and photos from back then. Yeah, complete list of lyrics, which is very cool. And then the vinyl, see if it's got anything else beside the vinyl. Maybe a download card, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't look like it. But it does have this fun vinyl pattern. And this is already in the paper, but with the Mylar. So normalize your paper and your Mylar. I always preach everybody. We do love them thick, Brooklyn. I love the thickies. And I'm a thick one myself, so I like the thick. I like them thick. Normalize the Mylar. Your Mylar, you get your records. I know a lot of people are buying vinyl and they're not playing them. They don't have a turntable. They're just buying records to buy them. What I should tell you is, if you keep them in the shrink wrap, it warps the records. And if you do play your records, you want to put an inner Mylar sleeve and then an outer sleeve around the album. You don't want to keep the album jammed into your record sleeve, because all these things impact the album and your needle if you play them. So when I see a record show up like this Machine Head here in the kind of in a paper, but with the Mylar sleeve inside the paper, perfect. No notes. And so here's the Machine Head vinyl on this splatter pattern. I'm going to hold it up. Look at how beautiful. It's almost like a wintry blue. I'm not catch the reflection of the light there. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this record. A whole bunch of bangers. This was like really the thrash comeback from Machine Head. And then the album after this is The Blackening, which is an absolute 10 of 10 for me. But yeah, this is was Phil Demmel's first record back in. He had contributed a few songs. They reissued the record. It came out in 2003 in Europe. Came out in 2004 in America with Seasons Wither, the extra track. But so many bangers on that record. Imperium and Days Turn Blue to Gray and Elegy. Just sick record. I think, yeah, it's just a lot of bangers on it. So definitely shout out to Machine Head. Looking forward to that. It's my first show of 2024, I believe, is going to be Machine Head in Fear Factory in San Francisco on the 19th. So looking forward to that. Finally going to get to see Fear Factory with their new singer, Milo Silvestro. So that is our show. You made it to the end of the show, so I'm going to throw it back once again to a few years ago when we used to do these lives. You made it to this part of the show, so you know what time it is. It's the end. Thanks so much for being here. As we say every week at this juncture of the show, be safe out there. It's the holidays. A lot of people, please don't drink and drive. Take an Uber, get a designated driver. If you're feeling down and out, this is a very tough time of the year for people who've lost loved ones. I know I have. Our DMs are always open. There's always someone to help, and there's always some hope, even if you feel terrible. Please reach out and reach out for help if you're feeling hopeless or sad or endangering yourself. Maybe you're thinking about having, some harmful thoughts. Please phone a friend, and we can be that friend. Our DMs are always open. We'll be here for you. With that out of the way, as we say every week at this juncture, the show is a tough time in the world, so please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and stay as metal as humanly possible. I'm Keefe, and I'm out. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week for one more of these in 2023 before the new year. Kick it!